What is going on YouTube? Welcome to another episode of the Fight Maniac podcast. Thank you guys so much for tuning in once again. I really appreciate all of you that are out there watching, and you guys mean a lot to me, man. Thank you so much. First of all, I want to say that I apologize if my voice sounds a little bit different, a little bit raspy. I'm just kind of having a little cold, a little bit under the weather right now, so definitely your boy's not feeling the best. But I did not want to miss this week's episode because there's some big updates, obviously, some big news after UFC 313. So we're gonna power through it. And yeah, man, I hope you guys enjoy the video. And as always, if you want to support your boy, all you gotta do is leave that like button and hit that subscribe button. That will help me out tremendously. So thank you. Yeah, obviously UFC 313 over this Saturday. I gotta say, the card overall was fan-fucking-tastic. Okay, it was great. I didn't watch the entirety of the prelims. I started watching at the Morono versus Leal fight. That was a pretty good fight, but I'm gonna just dive in into the belly of the beast and talk about the main event. Obviously, it was Alex Pereira losing his belt, losing his gold, his strap, his crown against Magomed Ankalaev. So, I did upload a video last week talking about how, one of the things that I think people were going to sleep on was Alex's takedown defense. And before I even say anything else about the fight, I was 100% right. By the way, my parlay literally almost hit. I had everything right except the main event. I had Alex, obviously. I had Rufi, Bahamondes, Gagey, and Alex Pereira. It was like a plus 1,200 or 1,100, something like that. I don't fully remember, but dude, it was so close to hitting. And obviously, like if you would have told me a few months ago, like parlays are going to be ruined because of Alex, I would have said, you're fucking out of your mind. Like, this guy is the best fighter probably right now. So, yeah. But hey, man, it is what it is. So, before I jump into anything, I just want to say that I was kind of right in that Alex's takedown defense was insane, bro. I mean, 100% takedown defense on this fight. Magomed had, I think, what is it? Had 12. I didn't know it was that many. I thought it was like more like 6 or 7. I was counting them during the fight, but he had 12 takedown attempts, and he got 0. Absolutely 0. So, shout out to your boy who kind of guessed that right. I'm excited for that one. Obviously, Alex still went on and lost the fight. I mean, a lot of people had it going to the last round, had it Ankalaev up 4. I mean, a lot of people call the fight 4-1 for Ankalaev. Obviously, like, I'm not a judge, and obviously, like, also when I'm watching the fights, I'm drinking, I'm talking to people, I'm eating. So, like, a lot of times I don't really score them 100%, obviously, but I thought going into the 4th round, me and my buddy kind of both agreed that, like, we thought it was 2-2. I don't know, maybe we're just, again, being a little biased or maybe just not paying, close attention. But yeah, I mean, overall, Ankalaev pretty much won 4 rounds on most people's eyes. And for sure had the biggest moment of the fight, the biggest pop with catching Alex with some nasty fucking punch and nearly dropping him, wobble him. If you ask me, honestly, like, Alex kind of got saved by the bell a little bit. I feel like if that round is 10 seconds more, I don't know if Alex recuperates and walks out of there, honestly. I think that the bell definitely saved them in that situation. So that went for Ankalaev, the biggest moment. And then I really liked one of the biggest moments was Ankalaev hitting Alex with a front kick right to the fucking body, to the stomach, and pushing Alex back like halfway through the octagon. And I was like, damn, like, this guy kicks really hard. So we're going to talk about some of the game plans that both of them had going on. For Magomed, man, I think a lot of people were questioning after the Jan Blachowicz fight, a lot of people were questioning, well, does he really have the capacity to take leg kicks? Because if you remember that fight against Jan Blachowicz, he was struggling with the leg kicks. I mean, John was catching him over and over with. I think there were calf kicks, or yeah, there were calf kicks, and he couldn't even walk. He couldn't even really stand on his leg. So that was a main factor because if you watch some of Alex's fights against Izzy, against other people that are good strikers, he attacks the legs a lot. He attacks the legs to take this away from you, and he did that. I mean, starting the fight, I told my buddy, watch, he's going to probably attack the legs. And yeah, starting the fights, he probably landed I don't know, like a good 8 or 9 in the first round, which is kind of crazy. But Ankalaev was landing leg kicks on his own too. So, I mean, that was great from both sides to having that game plan. And Ankalaev also was doing a good job of switching stands every once in a while to relieve some of the pressure and some of the pain from the leading leg. And, overall that worked out for him. And then, obviously, the main thing for this fight was that people were thinking, okay, if Magomed is going to win, if he has any chance of beating Alex, it's going to be grappling. It's going to be submitting him, right? And, I mean, I don't know. Obviously, because he's Dagestani, that's what a lot of people think. But I talked about this last week, and a lot of people talked about it too. But, again, some of the more casual viewers, some of the people that really don't fully dive into the sport, they only see a guy with a beard from Dagestan and they assume he's a grappler, a wrestler. Yeah, and that wasn't the case. I mean, like as I already said, I mean, Alex stuffed all the takedowns. And Ankalaev, I feel like that wasn't really his plan anyways. He only shot when he needed it. He wasn't really looking to kind of dominate Alex the whole time. What I didn't like, and listen, this is kind of in tune with some of the Dagestani style, is that what I don't like is that even if you cannot take somebody down, you hold them against the cage for 3 minutes out of a round, right? And Alex made a comment about that as well after the fight about how, holding me against the cage doesn't really do anything. You're not causing any damage, really. A lot of people do see it as control, you know what I mean? But to me, I just don't like that. I will, if nothing is, I appreciate a grappling technician or somebody two people that are, fighting for wrist control and going back and forth and the grappling. Like, I appreciate that. But at the end of the day, if nothing is happening and 2 minutes are going by, like, you got to break him apart. You know what I mean? The ref has to step in and break him apart. However, what I do appreciate is that Magomed was doing a semi-good job of kind of mixing some strikes while on the clinch. Landing some knees, maybe throwing some short punches to the body. Definitely some knees. Some knees landed really clean for Magomed. So that was good for him. As far as the actual game plan that Magomed had, I think it was implemented beautifully. It was implemented 100% against Alex Pereira. And the way to shut down Alex's game is make him not be the hunter. Make him be the guy backing up. I mean, it's easier said than done, obviously, because one of the things Alex does really great is counter-striking. So even if he's going back, he can still attack and be dangerous. And obviously, he had some moments. Alex landed some clean shots. But again, overall, the biggest moment punch of the day was for Magomed. And he just was constantly the one pushing forward, constantly the one starting exchanges and make sure Alex was really not having enough time to breathe and implement his game plan and just kept them on his back foot, right? So that was good for Magomed. I kind of knew that was going to be the fight going on, and I forget what my prediction was. I think I predicted Alex by KO in the last video, but I did kind of say how it would be possible to have a decision win just because of the style of both of these guys fight. It happens, when you have two high level strikers, it happens. I mean, look at the first fight with Alex versus Izzy, right, in the UFC. It almost went the distance. Like, if Izzy doesn't get caught, that fight goes the distance, and Izzy wins by decision. But overall, it was a good fight, man. I really, really enjoyed the fight, and overall, the whole card was hella entertaining. As far as Alex, yeah, there was talk. I don't want to take anything away from Magomed and his win. He deserved his win. Obviously, he won fair and square. But there was talk about Alex just not being 100% prepared for this fight. There was talks of him traveling around too much, maybe not being completely locked in on a training camp, which is kind of crazy considering you're at the highest level. So we don't really know what's the case there. I mean, he claimed he was obviously 100% prepared. So if you're claiming that, then how really can we, there's no excuses. And he's not making any excuses, don't get me wrong, but I see this in boxing a lot, right? Like a guy would say, yeah, I'm 100% ready to go. I'm 100%, right? The fight happens, they lose. And then what do they say first thing? Oh man, I just, I tore this a few weeks ago. I was, I had a shitty camp, blah, blah, blah. Week of the week of the fight, I had this problem. Like they always start coming up with those excuses. So at least I'm glad that Alex did not really go right away into making excuses or saying why he lost. Like, no, he's a good he's not a sore loser. You know what I mean? So shout out to Magomed for getting the dub. I mean, some of those, the numbers really must speak for themselves. I saw somewhere, I can't see it on here, but I saw somewhere that like Magomed had like, I don't know how much control time. It was like 12 minutes or something like that of control time. And Alex had like 0. So that right there is, it's not the main criteria, but it is one of the criteria for when a judge is judging the fight, right? They go from striking, grappling, and then they go control time at the back. I can't remember some of the other ones, but control time is obviously what Magomed was doing, keeping Alex on his back foot, and then essentially some of the grappling for sure, and some of the keeping him back against the cage. Even though, again, it wasn't my favorite, it's not everyone's favorite way to win. He did it the right way, and like I said, he wasn't just holding him there. He was doing a good job at mixing some body shots, some knees while on the clinch. So it's not like he just held him there for every round, not doing nothing. But I think there was one or two instances, for sure one, where the ref did separate him because there was nothing going on. So at least we know that was the case, that the ref was really looking for that action. So that tells you that, I mean, Magomed did a fantastic job at staying busy while in the clinch, which is, I think, what ultimately got him this fight. Now, if he would have completed some of those takedowns that he attempted, again, he attempted 12 takedowns, all right? If he would have gotten some of those takedowns, I mean, he would have just solidified the win even more. You know what I mean? Even if he didn't submit him. If he just takes him down, mixes it up, that always works your way. And, especially, you don't really want to be on the wrong end of a close decision, especially against a champ. Against a champ, it could be very tricky. If it's 2-2 going into the 5th round, the refs, and they don't really know how to score it. A lot of the times they will give it to the champ just because they're the champ, right? So you can't just rely on the striking. You really got to mix up the wrestling. So, I mean, he tried. You know what I mean? He tried, but I said it, and I called it. Alex's takedown defense is fucking insane. It's actually insane. It's probably one of the best. Better than Izzy's for sure. I mean, Izzy had a similar thing going on because both of them come from a striking background. So both, even though they don't really necessarily master the craft of wrestling, they can get really good at anti-wrestling, right? And take down defense. And if you get taken down, all right, then maybe just explode and get back up. Like they train that, they drill that, because at some point, especially at Alex's age, I mean, damn near 40 years old, you're not really gonna be learning anything new. You're not gonna. There's not enough hours in the day for some of these guys that grew up in Dagestan, or some of these guys that wrestled in college, right, in Penn State or something like that, right? Like some of those guys are just they've been wrestling and they've been doing single legs and double legs their whole lives. So you're not really gonna get up to speed with those guys. And one guy that said it really great was I think it was Jorge Masvidal, because he realized that was the main flaw in his game. He said, "Hey, all these kids, not kids, but like all these guys have been wrestling since they were kids, and there's really not enough hours for me to kind of go and really make a difference." So, however, but you can do the anti wrestling. So those takedown defenses and obviously getting back up. So that worked for Alex in this case. I mean, it just kind of helped him even get a even more closer decision. Like if Alex would have had a few more moments and maybe like one more good decisive round, obviously this would have been a way much closer fight. Then it would have been maybe like 2-2 going into the fifth. But it didn't happen. So again, you have to wonder, like, is this the case of Alex not having a full camp? Again, he had the time. If he didn't have a full camp, that was his own choice. Traveling, blah, 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 right? So did that play a factor? Who knows? Who really knows? As far as what's next for these two guys, it seems like Dana White really wants that rematch. Listen, man. Dana White, listen, I mean, I love Dana White, but I also see a lot of the time, I see through his bullshit. And I know you guys do too. And I know he probably just doesn't care. What's the first thing he says after fights? Don't ask me. We don't make the fights after this. He always says, the fight just happened, guy. You're asking me already about who's next? The fight just happened. Ask me again in months, or we're going to see you on Tuesday in the war room, right? He always has that excuse. The fight just happened. We're not making any decisions today. However, whenever it is a fighter he favors, right? Like Alex Pereira, like a Sean O'Malley, for some reason when that happens, that is out the window. And he does give you, when Sean O'Malley beat, was it Peter? Yeah, when he beat Peter Yan, that day he said, or it was it when Aljo won? It was either a one, but it was right after a fight, and he said, "Done. Aljo versus O'Malley, done." Oh, really? What happened to the fight just happened? I don't know. Ask me later. What happened to that? Alex loses, right? His golden boy, his golden pony of the UFC loses. And what happens? Someone asking him, "Oh, well, will there be a rematch?" He says yes. Actually, to his defense, he didn't say yes. He said probably, but the fact that he even said probably, I mean, it's what he wants. You cannot deny that the UFC, at the end of the day, it's a business, and they are in the business of finding the best guys in the world, but they're also in the business of selling pay-per-view and selling tickets and selling merch and, putting butts in seats. So who's better for that? Ankalaev or Alex Pereira, who's already a massive superstar? I guarantee you Magomed is not going to go on a press conference run. He's not going to go on podcasts. He's not going to go on Joe Rogan. He's not going to go on Good Morning America. Not that Alex does, but at least he has more of a online presence. You know what I mean? And at least even though Alex doesn't speak English, he pretty much captured a lot of the U.S. market, which is kind of awesome. So the UFC, they see that, I mean, they notice that. And not that he prefers Alex over Ankalaev or not, nothing really, but it's just numbers. If table is flipped, is Ankalaev is the biggest superstar, and he has the most Instagram followers than Alex, and he sells more pay-per-views, and he's big hype, then obviously tables flip. He's gonna do the same thing for Magomed. So as far as me and as a fan, and I know most of you guys might agree, like an immediate rematch would be all right. It would be okay. I'm not mad at it. I am not mad at it, especially because it'll give Alex an opportunity to really lock it in and really learn from this fight. Go back to the drawing board, see what went wrong, see where you can improve. Obviously, a big factor is going to be just being the aggressor and not just waiting for Magomed to do something, but really being the aggressor and putting yourself out there. Because I mean, if the fight goes the same way again, it's going to be the same result, obviously, right? But mind you, if they fight again and this is the exact same way, like let's say they just keep going for 3-4 more rounds, right? Right after the fight, let's say there's no pause. Boom, right fight again. Like Magomed could find the opportunity to take him down again, and now Alex is even more fucked, right? The more they fight, the bigger the chances. So he has to lock it in, make sure that he's improving on his pressure going forward. He has to be the one keeping Magomed in his back heel. And hey, if that means clashing in the middle, I mean, you're fucking Alex Pereira. You're a fucking killer. You're a knockout artist. One thing I said last video is that Alex, like, he wouldn't mind eating a few shots to get inside of your, to get inside his distance and clap you, right? But again, he wasn't doing that this time. He was going back most of the fight, not really going forward. Again, when he goes forward, he doesn't mind eating a few jabs or even a hook to get to you and connect and put you to sleep, right? So I don't know what it was. I mean, maybe, Magomed is a phenomenal striker. Maybe Alex just didn't expect for him to be that good. Or, Magomed definitely had, I think, some of the speed advantage. So, I mean, that definitely plays a factor. I don't know. Maybe Alex just wasn't prepared for the style that Magomed brought to the table. Maybe he just, he didn't expect for him to be as good as he was. And simple as that. Simple as that. Again, I'm not taking anything away from Magomed. He won fair and square. So shout out. This kind of sucks too because obviously Alex was big hype, big opportunity for him to potentially move up to heavyweight and obviously fight either John Jones or Tom Aspinall. I mean, that whole weight class is a fiasco right now, but essentially, obviously, that's not going to happen right now. However, if he does come back, right? If he does come back, and let's say he knocks out Magomed in the first round in the rematch, my God, now his hype is going to be even more, right? For him to then move up and go to heavyweight. But Magomed just kind of threw a wrench on those gears right there, man. And he said, "Oh, you want to move up? Psych!" Here it is, man. And he won fair and square. So shout out. I also was saying last week on the last episode that I wouldn't be surprised if Magomed gets a KO. Like that's definitely possible, especially if you look at his record. He has a lot of KOs. So I wouldn't be surprised, and God damn, it almost happened, bro. I did have a side bet, so I had my parlay. But I had a side bet for Gagey by KO, which almost happened too. Oh, I was so pissed. I'll talk about it. But then I also had a side bet of Magomed by KO. So literally nothing hit for me, bro. Nothing hit. I had Rufi, Bahamondes, Gagey, and then Pereira. Obviously, Pereira ruined that. I had Gagey by KO. Fucking almost, it was this close. And then I had Magomed by KO. So, again, both of those just inches away, bro. So, shout out to Magomed for being the new champ. Hope he enjoys it. Hope he, gets some of the respect that he wants. I know, it was tough. It was a tough fight going against a massive superstar like Alex. It's like when people fight Conor. Like, even if they don't really hate you, you're going to get hate. Just because you're going against everyone's favorite fighter, really. It's not that they hate you, but I guarantee you that if Magomed goes on, beats Alex in the rematch, and then, is a dominant champ and defends the title, I guarantee you people will come around and kind of respect him way more, definitely, and just he's going to be more of a superstar. So, yeah, I mean, if he beats Alex again, now that's when the superstardom kind of will fall into place for him. So, shout out. And listen, me personally, it's not that I don't like Dagestanis. Like, it is what it is, right? We can't really We can't really run away from them. We can't really stop them now. Like, they're in the UFC. They're infiltrated. They're taking over most of the belts now. Well, not most of them, but some, right? We still have Hamzat probably. Well, he's not Dagestani, but, same. And then we had Umar who lost, so I'm kind of, that was a good one for us. We have Bilal, who's not Dagestani, but he is Muslim. Yeah, I mean, they were kind of starting to take over there, and then with Magomed now, they got one more, so shout out. And it's not that I don't like them or anything, it's just that most of them just don't have a personality. You see Magomed, like, bro, I was trying to watch the press conferences, the before the fight and after the fight, his interview, his media day. Man, I just literally, like, I'm not trying to be funny, I kept falling asleep. Because first of all, the whole translator thing is a fucking fiasco. Like, it took so long to get just 2 questions in. Like, literally, the guy has to ask the question. The translator has to translate it for Magomed. Then Magomed has to say it, answer it in his language. And then the translator has to translate it again. So, I mean, that's 4 or 5 interactions just for one question. And it's just insane. And then just add to that the fact that he really has no personality. Like, he's not really, yeah, English is a factor, obviously, but they just have no personality. I mean, I would argue that Islam has more of a personality than maybe most of them. Sometimes he speaks better English, and sometimes he can be a little funny, crack some jokes. So, but most of them just have no personality, bro. Just like, and I know we're watching them for fighting and for their skill, but like, god damn, like, that's what makes a superstar. Like, imagine Conor, when he was coming up, only had the skill set and didn't have the mic superstardom, right? And all his famous quotes, all his famous phrases he would say. Like, imagine he didn't have any of that. He wouldn't have been nearly as the star that he ended up being. Like, there's no way. You need I'm not saying you have to trash talk, and I'm not saying you have to be disrespectful, but I'm just saying you have to have a personality, right, to capture some of those fans. So, but I mean, at the end of the day, that's if you want to be mainstream, right? If you want to be a household name. If all you want is just literally be champ and claim that you're the best in the world, he did it. And he did it, and he done it, and maybe he doesn't care about being that famous and stuff like that, but like, it is what it is, man. Again, I'm not hating on Dagestanis. I do sometimes hate their style, obviously, but I see it, I understand it, and I appreciate it. I appreciate good wrestling, good grappling, good submissions, So, shout out. So, yeah, I'll stop ranting about this one. The rematch, I think, is definitely the way to go. So, who knows? Maybe we will see that rematch, hopefully this year, man. I hate when there's so much fucking time in between fights or in between somebody fighting. Like, Alex said that he was kind of okay. He had no major injuries. He just had some bruising in his face, and he said he was fine. So who knows? Maybe summertime we'll get a rematch from this too. That would be pretty awesome. Not International Fight Week, probably. Did Dana say anything about that? I don't think Dana... There was a question on the press conference about International Fight Week, but I don't remember if it was for this or for another fight. I don't know. It was something else. But anyways, I mean, I wouldn't mind to see this. Now, I did see something crazy online that, like, if the UFC wants to capitalize and have possible one of the best, biggest pay-per-views ever, you should make, John Jones, Tom Aspinall the main event, Alex Pereira, Magomed Ankalaev the co-main event. I mean, come on. That would be absolutely fucking insane. So, who knows? If the timing is right and if the UFC wants to do it, who knows? But a lot of times when people get as big as Alex, they won't really want to do like a co-main. They want to be their own star of their own pay-per-view. So, who knows? We'll see. Either way, to kind of talk about that a little bit too, I mean, Dana White pretty much kind of confirmed that we are getting John Jones versus Tom Aspinall. So, again, just a matter of figuring out when and where. So, I'm excited for that. Super excited for that. So, Shout out to Magomed and shout out to Alex Pereira. It was a good fight overall, and I hope you guys fight again. So let's go. The co-main event was amazing, fantastic fight. Justin, the highlight gauge, never, absolutely never disappoints with the style, with his style. Man, he is an absolute animal, and I mean, physique. To take this fight short notice, coming off of an injury, coming off of a loss, all those odds stacked against you, and he still did really good. He still did great. I mean, he almost got finished. I think it was round two. Yeah, in round two, it was a knockdown, right? It was a round one. It was round two knockdown. And he had two takedowns for us. Yeah, he had two takedowns, which 2 out of 2, 100% completion there for his takedowns. So, hey, man, for a guy that, again, took a fight super last minute, well, not super last minute, but kind of like, was it like 2-3 weeks, I think? Yeah, it was like 2-3 weeks. For him to do that and then, did as good as he did against Justin Gaethje, shout out. He deserves nothing but respect. I do feel bad for him, and Justin kind of pointed to this, that he feels bad that both times that he fought Fiziev was coming off a loss. So, a lot of times this game can be a little bit about confidence, and if you're coming off of a loss and you're finding someone like Justin Gaethje or a top guy in the division, you really do need that confidence. You need to be coming off of those win streaks, you know what I mean, in order to just not fight better, but just have that confidence that you really can do it. And a lot of times that transfers to a better fighting style. So, feels bad for Fiziev, but hey, man, other than that, it was a fantastic fight. Justin, I thought, looked phenomenal. I mean, he also proved to us, right? I wrote this down here. He also proved to us that, he said he broke his hand. I don't know exactly when. Maybe. He said that right on the octagon, he said it was broken, but he didn't really say anything else afterwards. So maybe he was just sore or something, but he said that it could have been broken, so who knows? And then he proved to everybody that he has a chin still, right? And again, I talked about this before, bro, because he did it the right way. If when he got knocked out by Max Holloway, comes back and fights, 2-3 months after that, I guarantee you that is not the case. I guarantee you he gets touched and he gets slept again, right? We've seen it. Right? With most famously was obviously Volkanovski. Got dropped by Islam and then got dropped by Topuria because a lot of people thought he rushed back, right? And I mean, that kind of sucks when you're fighting two divisions because you can't take a year off if you're defending two divisions, right? So Justin did it the exact right way. I talked about this last time. Jamal Hill was making this mistake. He made it a few times. Luckily, his last fight got canceled or got pushed. But listen, he just got knocked out by Jiri in January, and now he's fighting again in April. He's actually coming here to KC. I might go to that fight. It's Jamal Hill versus Khalil Roundtree. So who knows? I might show up. And it's also the day before my birthday. So I mean, that would be insane. If you guys want to support me and go in there, please like and subscribe. Please, bro. And I swear I'll blog it. I'll do something for it. I don't know. But it's 3 months, bro. You got knocked out. You got dominated. You got knocked out, and then you're fighting in 3 fucking months? Like, I don't know. I just don't think that's smart. So, obviously, nobody wants to take a year off, right? And obviously, that will cut into your finances and obviously like that. But, I mean, Justin, he's fine financial-wise, so he didn't need to fight. I don't know why Jamal Hill, again, is jumping back in really fast. He doesn't need to, man. Take some months off. Like, don't be stupid. But Justin took damn near a year off. It was like 11 months because he fought UFC 300. Obviously got absolutely fucking mollywhooped by Max Holloway. Not only dominated, but got flatlined, right? And, a lot of people say that, like, shit, punches like that are what end careers. It's what takes your jaw away. So a lot of people were wondering, like, if Fiziev touches Justin, is he going to go to sleep? Again, he did the right decision by taking so much time off that he lets his body heal, he lets his brain heal, and he's ready to go. He's ready to go. Because you also had to play into consideration the weight cut. When you're dehydrating and you're cutting weight, you're also taking some of that hydration from your brain, not just your body and your belly and your fat. No, it's a lot of it's coming from your brain too. So if you're already dehydrated the day before a fight, you're more prone to getting knocked out, right? And then add to that the fact that you could still be rocked from a few months ago. So again, just taking the time was absolutely perfect. So shout out to Justin. It was a fantastic fight. As far as what's next for him, he kind of, obviously he said he didn't have a clear answer. He obviously said that if he had a choice, he would obviously fight for the title. When you're coming off of a loss, like, that's kind of tough. I do see it happening. A few things have to fall into place for that to work out in his favor. I think he has to just be ready, stay prepared, stay in shape. Because if he does get a title shot, most likely it'll be some sort of last minute thing. I'm assuming that Islam next is going to fight either Charles Oliveira or Ilia Topuria. One of those two. It has to be one of those two. It's not going to be Arman. Dana White pretty much say Arman is not going to get the next title shot. And you got Ilia, who moved up, but the question still stands on: is he going to get a number one contender fight, or is he going to go straight for the title? I also wouldn't mind to see if he does go for the route of a number one contender fight. I wouldn't be upset for that to be him versus Charles Oliveira. Like, Charles Oliveira versus Ilia Topuria would be an amazing fight. But yeah, maybe I'm more prone to seeing Islam versus either Charles or Ilia Topuria, right? So, and then, yeah, I mean, for Justin, it's tough, man. He either takes one more fight and kind of just waits for the cue, or he stays ready, he stays prepared, because lightweight is kind of, some of the lightweight fights, sometimes I feel like that's the one division that the fights kind of fall through the most, right? I feel like guys got to get injured kind of often at lightweight. I don't know why that is. Or, look, someone like Arman, maybe they cannot cut the weight. So, Charles got injured also as well a long time ago when he was going to fight. So shit happens. So for Justin, if he wants to kind of just be ready and just, again, stay in shape, don't do anything stupid, obviously, right? And just be ready for, if the call comes, just throw your name in the hat. Obviously, let's say they book Ilia versus Islam, right? Well, Justin should be proactive and speak up and say, I want to be the backup for that fight. And I guarantee you, if he does that, Dana White will take him serious and he'll do it. And then if anything happens, he'll be there. You know what I mean? I mean, Justin is an animal. He will take a fight. He will absolutely take a fight last minute. Especially if he knows the fight's taking place and he is in shape, he's training. I like his mentality. He said that, like, I'm gonna be back up running tomorrow. Like, I'm not gonna take a break because he wants to beat Islam. Like, that's his main goal, and I like that mentality, bro. Not even taking a few days off. I'm gonna take a week off, go on vacation. No, right back to work. And it seems like he really wasn't that interested as well in the Dan Hooker rematch. I also saw that Dan Hooker just had surgery, so he's probably gonna be out for a little while. Kind of sucks. But yeah, I mean, that rematch, I think, it's a dangerous one because, again, against Dan Hooker, that's a dangerous motherfucker. So that could drop you further back in the queue if you lose against Dan Hooker. And Dan Hooker is also not ranked as high as Justin Gaethje, so that's almost kind of like fighting backwards. So yeah, if I'm him, I don't stand and wait for the rematch for the fight against Dan Hooker. Like I'm patient right now. I wait for any announcements regarding Islam, right? It's gonna be either Charles or Ilya. It has to be one of those two. It has to be. And just throw yourself out there, right? Call to be the backup, or if the fight falls through, be proactive and contact Dana, because I think that's gonna be the only way that Justin gets a title shot this year. Other than that, man, he's gonna have to wait for a long ass time. He's gonna have to win at least one more, maybe two. Like, it's just that division is so fucking stacked right now. It's absolutely fucking insane. Like, it was already stacked. Listen, pay attention. Pay attention. Lightweight was already fucking stacked, bro. Already, right? It's always been stacked. Ever since the Conor era, the Khabib era, it's been stacked, right? Killer after killer after killer. Now you add Max Holloway to that queue. Now you add Ilia Topuria to that queue, right? Now you're going to potentially have Paddy Pimblett in that queue if he gets past Michael Chandler, who's also a top lightweight. Now you have Ignacio Bohamondes to that queue, who just had an amazing performance. Mauricio Rufy, who just had an amazing performance. Like, some of these guys are just like, bro, the fact that Jalen Turner and King Green both lost the way they did, like, it just tells me that these guys are going to be future either world champs or title challengers for sure. I mean, some of these young cats coming up right now are absolutely insane, bro. And the lightweight division is absolutely stacked. I mean, I cannot emphasize this enough. It's fucking stacked. And it just got even more stacked. So I'm a big fan of Ignacio, by the way. Shout out. I'll talk about his fight here in a little bit. But yeah, as far as Justin, I mean, that's what he has to do. Just kind of stay prepared, be ready to go. He also got a bonus. And the record that I saw for him also was... I think like the most bonuses ever or something like that. He has like damn near $1 million in just straight 50K bonuses. That's fucking insane, bro. There has to be, yeah, he has like 18 or 19 because he has almost $1 million. It was like 900,000 or 950. It's like, that is wild, bro. So shout out to the highlight. Never disappoints. Absolutely never disappoints. Win or lose, Justin never disappoints, man. So I'm excited. Then the fight before that was super excited for this fight. Ignacio Bahamontes versus Jalen Turner. I was excited for this one, man. I was super excited. Jalen, he is a guy that like super athletic, super skilled. He has a great physique. He's long, tall, and he's just kind of like, I was saying this to my buddy, he's kind of like the John Jones of the lightweight division. Not skill-wise. God, no. But the length, the legs, the skinny, tall type of build. Like, he is built great for that division, especially because a lot of those guys in the division are short. But Ignacio was right up there with him. Ignacio was kind of, par to par with how tall he was. So, obviously, Ignacio got the amazing finish by submission with a phenomenal transition into a triangle. I mean, it was great off his back. Fucking phenomenal. And yeah, I mean, I wasn't really that, like, probably like a week, 2 weeks ago, I wasn't that high or that aware of Ignacio. But then during fight week, I was like, oh my God, this guy. Looking at his record, I was like, this guy's amazing. And I remember some of his fights. I think he fought in the Sphere or something. Or he fought at Noche UFC, I think. But I was like, oh, this guy is someone to keep an eye out for. And yeah, I mean, this guy is fucking insane, man. Round 1 submission. And I think this will potentially, well, definitely break him into the top 15. I think Jalen Turner was ranked 13. Jalen Turner was ranked 13, still as well. It'll move tomorrow. Today's Monday, so it'll move tomorrow. And yeah, I think Ignacio is gonna break into the top 15, top 10, and just go from there, bro. Just keep having performances like that, bro, and you're gonna do really fucking good. Again, just another killer to add to the already stacked lightweight division. Like, dude, the next 2 to 3 years at lightweight is gonna be absolutely insane, bro. Out of this world. Out of this world. As far as what's next for him, for Ignacio, I mean, you have like, I'm looking at like number 10, number 9. You have Moicano. That would be a fantastic fight. He's number 10 right now. You have Dariush. You have Gamrot. Fiziev, who just lost. Obviously, maybe he can come back and fight him. But I like Moicano. I'm going to say I like Moicano. That would be a fantastic fight. Oh, shit. Sorry. And obviously, Moicano just having the being a former title challenger, obviously it was super last minute and almost didn't count. I almost don't count those, but still, he was a title challenger. He got smoked by Islam really fast. But I think Moicano is a great fight for both, because both they're a little bit younger, both up and coming dudes, and they're both exciting dudes to watch. Yeah, I think that's the fight to make. I think looking at a lot of other people. A lot of them either have fights already booked, like Chandler. Again, Fiziev just fought. Patty's booked, right? So, like, I mean, you got Benoit's on the knee also right there, possibly. But, like, I think Moicano is definitely next for Ignacio Bahamondes. So, shout out to him. Then we had the women's fight, who I'm not going to lie to you, I just wasn't that entertained by it. I barely paid attention to it. It was my bathroom break. It was my eating break. I grabbed some carne asada and I ate that during that lunch. So. But I mean, it was nothing to really write home about. Amanda Lemos ended up getting the dub. So shout out to her. Then we had King Green versus Rufi. Rufi got performance on the night. So did Ignacio, by the way. Both Ignacio and Rufi got performance of the night. I mean, this knockout by Rufi, bro, was possibly already knockout of the year. I mean, it was absolutely fucking insane, dude. It wasn't like a spinning wheel kick, it was a wheel kick, right? Holy shit. Round 1, King Green just had absolutely nothing. He did nothing this fight, and Rufi took 0 damage this fight as well. So he could fight again next week if he wanted to, What a fucking phenomenal knockout, dude. And I'm so high on this guy's train right now. I'm so excited to see what he does in the division. I don't think King Green was ranked. So, if you want to look at it this way, like I think Bahamondes should fight Moicano, who's ranked number 10. And I think Rufi should fight Benoit Saint-Denis, who's 15. So that, because the way I see it is King Green was ranked lower than Jalen Turner. So, or who knows, maybe we get Bahamondes versus Rufi. Like that. Fuck, that would be an amazing fucking fight, dude, for a fight night main event. He did call Beneil Dariush, who's ranked number 9. Phenomenal call, by the way. Sometimes guys don't take the opportunity to have a good call. This guy nailed it. Let me call someone that's in the top 10. And if he does get that fight, he kind of skips over. He kind of skips over Bahamondes. So, hey, man, shoot your shot. Obviously, don't call out Connor like some of these fucking idiots, right? Like, obviously, don't call out Connor, but have a smart call out. One that makes sense, and one that when Dana White hears it, he's going to say, oh, yeah, that makes sense. We'll see, right? That's what you want. All you want is Dana to say, yeah, well, yeah, that makes sense. I don't see why not. We'll look into it, right? He's not saying yes right now, unless your name is Sean O'Malley or Alex Pereira, but he can say, yeah, we'll look into it. If it makes sense, then we'll do it. So, but again, for Rufi, you also got their Benoit Saint-Denis. That could work. And even Moicano, that could work too. So, I mean, it just kind of depends on how the UFC wants to play. You know, it's interesting too because like both these guys, Rufi and Bahamondes, just fought in the same fight, obviously the same fight night, obviously. So it's gonna be interesting to see who fights sooner and who fights who as far as rankings go, right? So I feel like Rufi might have a little bit more hype than Ignacio. So he might hop over him a little bit, maybe. Again, it's gonna be interesting to see kind of how the whole thing plays out, right? But I'm so high on these two guys, Bahamondes and Rufi. I mean, my God, amazing contenders that are going up the ranks right now. So super excited for the division. I think Bahamondes is probably one of my favorite fighters right now. Like my number one has been for a few years now, Charles. I love watching Charles, and I'm a huge fan of Charles. But Bahamondes is kind of ranking those up, man. I think he's an amazing guy. I think he's gonna fight. He's gonna fight for a title in the next couple of years for sure. I mean, I wouldn't be excited, especially if Islam kind of clears out the top 10. You know, we'll see. You never know. So shout out to Rufi for that amazing knockout, and you know, feel bad for King Green. Unfortunately, he's had a tough go. You know, a couple of losses. So yeah, I hope if he does decide to stay in the UFC and keep fighting, he can probably get back in the winning column. So you know, that's great. Yeah, I mean, another good fight that took place. Oh yeah, by the way, I was upset that the Curtis Blades fight got canceled. I was looking forward to that fight, especially because again, Curtis Blades it's a former title, former interim title contender. So it would have been interesting to see kind of what happened there. But yeah, maybe they rebook it or something. I don't know. But Joshua Van versus Ray Tsuruya. It was a good fight. It was a really good fight. It was flyweight, so it was high energy. It was pressure literally all fight long. A couple of nut shots in the fight, and it was like two of them back to back, and I think it was two back to back for Joshua that he hit Ray in the nuts, and then Ray then had his own nut shot against Joshua. So yeah, I mean, there's nothing really you can do with those, but I feel like, you know, I was talking to my buddy, like if somebody kicks me in the nuts twice in a row, I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna kick him in the nuts back on purpose. I don't know. So Joshua got a point taken away at the second, right? At the second nut shot. So that's when I said, oh, I'm landing one for sure. If we know right now that we get a point deduction at the second one and we have a free one, basically, I'm going in there, bro. I'm fucking swinging for those nuts, dude. For those nuts. So shout out. It was a good fight overall. Joshua Van ended up getting the dub. Fun fact about this fight was that both of these guys, it was the first time ever that two UFC fighters fight that they were born in the 2000s. So before this, it had never happened. Either it was somebody in the 2000s versus somebody that was born before that, but this is the first time ever that two guys born in the 2000s fight. So, or after the 2000s. So, is that how you know we're getting fucking old? I think we're getting fucking old, boys. Oh shit, I think we're getting old. The other fun fight here was Bruno Pereira versus Armin Petrosyan. Bruno ended up getting the dub. Round 2. How did he win? Oh yeah, by submission. So shout out to Bruno, man. That fight was a middleweight. I don't believe he is ranked right now. Let me double check. Where is middleweight? No, he wasn't ranked. Neither was Petrosyan. So, but I think after this, I think Bruno will get a ranked opponent. I like Rayner. Rayner is there right at the top 15, so that might be a good option for him. You have Michel Pereira as well. Super explosive, fun dude to watch, who's had a couple of losses too, so that might be a good opponent for somebody to break into the top 15. So interesting. And then we had Alex Morano versus Carlos Leal. That was also a good fight. Carlos Leal ended up getting the dub as well. This one was also round 1 KO. So a lot of finishes this card, man. That's what I really liked. A lot of guys just going for it, getting the finish, and I love to see it. I love to see it. This fight was at welterweight. I don't think neither of these guys were ranked. So you're gonna have probably Carlos Leal maybe fight. I think one more, right? I think one. Yeah, I think give him one more, and then yeah. Because let me look at his record. I don't think he has that much of a record. No, I mean he has 2 fights in the UFC. So I mean, yeah, give him one or two more, and then he can probably then break into the top 15. Maybe get a fight against some of those guys. You have MVP right there, who's ranked at welterweight and at middleweight, I think, right? MVP. I thought that was the case for him. Or no, I think he fought at middleweight, but he's not ranked. Is he? I don't know. Anyways, you have him. You have Carlos Prates. You have Vicente Luque. You have Wonder Bro, Wonder Brother. So who knows? You know, there's some fun fights there. So hopefully he breaks into that situation soon. Top 15. So, well, that was all for today, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Hope you guys enjoy the pod. Let me know what you guys think. Do you agree with anything I just fucking said? Or do you fucking just think I'm a maniac? Think I'm just talking out of my ass? Like, please let me know. Leave me down in the comments what you guys think. But anyways, thank you. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day, of your week. And I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.